In this video, we're going to go over books number 80 to 85 on the Robinson Curriculum book list, so stay tuned. Hi there, my name is Karen, and if you're new here, welcome. I like to help families like yourselves achieve sustainable and enjoyable homeschooling. And one of the best ways to go about it, in my opinion, is the Robinson Curriculum. It focuses on the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic. It has a wonderful book list, and you learn history, social studies, world history, American history, economics, everything through this book list filled with living books, right? So I'm going to go over 80 to 85. I have a series here. You can go all the way back to book number 1, and we're going through the entire series just to give you a heads up as a parent what the books are, who the authors are, what they're about. Yes, maybe even some controversies, how the books are viewed as today. All of that, we talk about it here. So without further ado, let's jump in to book number 80, which is The Spy. Totally got the wrong book. This is The Pathfinder, which is another book by the same author, J. Fenimore Cooper. He is also well known for Last of the Mohicans. So I grabbed the wrong book. It's the same author, but it's The Spy. Let me see if I have that one here on my bookshelf. Okay, I don't have it. This is one of those books that we read on our Kindles. I do have a couple of them that my older teens use. I did have some sort of old Barnes and Noble books that I have a video tutorial on. It's pretty much just a shell. There is no applications, no apps on it, nothing to distract a young reader. But then for the older teens, I let them use my, what are they called? Paperwhites or whatever. So I have that one on Kindle. And comment below if this ever happens to you where you have, maybe this is when you have too many books, that you have a book on the shelves and then you can't find it and you buy the Kindle version. That just happened to me this past week with Fahrenheit 451. My friends and I are from church are reading it together, like a book club read, but it's good. I'm glad. I like having different methods of reading it. Sometimes it's just great to read it like this, like if you're wondering how many pages to read together at the same time, like if we said 20 pages per week, that's hard to do on a Kindle because you can blow up the text. You don't really get a feel of what exactly are the 20 pages. So that's a pro for this. But, reading it at nighttime, when the lights are off, when you are traveling or you're going to read at the grocery store, whatever, you want to carry something lightweight in your purse, Kindles are great. Plus, if you have multiple people reading the same book, that's why I kind of like to have a couple Kindles. Multiple people can read it and bookmark where they're at. It's just very convenient. So anyhow, that was a long tangent, but let's talk about The Spy. This is written in 1821 by, like I said, James Fenimore Cooper. This is under the category of historical fiction and adventure. Now, in the Robinson Curriculum, this is in the category of literature. And I could go on and on about this. If you have to do transcripts, what do you put down for literature, for history? You can put down the titles of these books. That counts. It doesn't always have to just be the name of a curriculum. You can put down book titles. So The Spy is one of James Fenimore Cooper's lesser known novels. Pathfinder and Last of the Mohicans are a little bit more well known, but this one is very interesting. It takes place during the American Revolutionary War, and the novel is one of espionage and just divided alliances in the midst of the American Revolution. The main character is Harvey Birch, who is a mysterious and enigmatic figure. And while he appears to be a simple peddler, he is actually a spy for the American Patriots. Hopefully that's not a big of a spoiler. Working undercover in the British-occupied New York. So throughout the novel, readers follow Birch as he undertakes dangerous missions, collects information, and navigates the complexities of wartime espionage. This is considered one of the early examples of espionage fiction in American literature and provides readers with a glimpse into covert activities that occurred during the American Revolution that actually did occur. So while The Spy may not be well known as some of Cooper's other works, it still offers a compelling narrative and unique perspective on the Revolutionary War era. And I like to read a lot of history books. I like historical fiction as well. And I've never seen anything from this angle in the American Revolution, right? You see maybe, I mean, obviously it's a historical fact, right? And you do hear stories, but to read a novel with this being one of the themes, I do think that that's kind of unusual. And one of the central themes of the novel is the question of loyalty and trust. Characters in the story must grapple with their alliances as they are torn between loyalty to their country and personal relationships. And we saw that play out again in the Civil War. So it's always great to read these historical accounts because history really does repeat itself. So that is 81, The Spy, under the category of literature, James Fenimore Cooper. Now, number 82 is Picturesque America, Volume 2, and this is by William Cullen Bryant. This is a very rare and hard to find book, but when you purchase the Robinson curriculum, you get all of the book files so you can print it out. I will give you a little bit of heads up though, there's a lot of pictures in this file because it's a picturesque view of America. So I hope you have a really great ink efficient printer such as the Epson 2750. That's the one that I use, and I can't even remember I don't think I've ever changed added more ink since I bought it. It has to be now like 2 or 3 years ago, and I print a lot. So that is a great ink efficient printer. So just keep that in mind if you have like a Canon or something else, that it will go through a lot of ink. As far as publication, this was published in the late 19th century, 1872 to 1874. This is again volume 2, and it features a collection, not just pictures, but essays and illustrations showcasing the natural beauty and the scenic landscapes of the United States. It was a project conceived by the author William Cullen Bryant. He was an American poet and journalist, and it falls under American literature, but it's also a valuable resource for those interested in cultural and geographical history of the United States, like what that looked like. So that's really interesting. Like I said, this is a really hard book to find. I don't see any reprints of it. I think there was a reprint, but it was horrible, and the pictures are just really, really bad. So if you're purchasing a reprint from Amazon, just be careful. If there's no pictures of what the inside of the book looks like, I've gone down that rabbit hole. It's not good. This is one that maybe you want to view on an iPad, like download the PDF file from the Robinson curriculum and upload it into GoodNotes. I think that would be the best viewing experience if you don't want to print a massive book with a ton of pictures. So again, just a little tip, FYI. All right, let's go on to book number 83, which is Diaries of George Washington, Volume 1 by George Washington, and this is under the category of American history. So one of the great things about the Robinson curriculum is that it focuses on living books, of course, but instead of reading about history, why not read it through the eyes of the people that actually lived through that history? And you get different perspectives. You know, you get both from the Civil War, you get the North and the South. You're reading both autobiographies, right? And still you have books like The Spy, some historical fiction. But of course, who can deny that learning through autobiographies is a great way to really get a grasp on what actually happened in that historical time frame. So let's dive a little deeper into this first volume. These are diaries that were written by George Washington during his lifetime, and various editions and volumes have been published by different editors and publishers. Again, you get the files when you purchase RC. Now, George Washington began keeping a diary at a very relatively young age and continued to do so throughout his life. His diaries are a treasure trove of information about his military campaigns, political activities, agricultural interests, and personal reflections. So they provide detailed accounts of key events in American history, including the French and Indian War, as well as, of course, the American Revolutionary War. So these books are studied by historians and scholars to gain deeper insights into the man behind the legend that was, a founding father, our first president here in America. So that is number 83, The Diaries of George Washington, Volume 1. They're going to read all 4 volumes. So just keep that in mind. And for those that think in the early book series, the Josephine Pollard one, that may be a little bit difficult. I know some parents struggle with it, like they're not enjoying it, they're not really grasping it. I always tell them, don't worry, they're gonna get a lot more about George Washington later on in the book list. So if you substitute that with something a little bit more easier for them to read, don't worry, they will learn about George Washington later on. So now jumping into book number 84, this is one of my personal favorites. That is The Law by Frederick Bastiat. This is under the category of government and economics. So if you're wondering, how does the Robinson curriculum approach that? This is a great little booklet, great little guide, and you also get the PDF file. I will say too that the Tuttle twins came up with their own sort of version for kids. So if you have teens reading this, it would be a great time to read out loud to the whole family. This one, it's an easy read and it has great engaging questions at the end, and it talks about plunder, aka taxation, right? Legal plunder. And it's a great book. Every person in America should read this book and understand the game of what's going on here, right? So again, that's my little tip. I would really recommend, if they're reading this at any older teens or you're reading it, read this out loud with the family and have a great discussion on taxation. I think it might even go a little bit into inflation. I'm trying to remember, but a great book for that is The Creature from Jekyll Island, both the actual book and the Tuttle Twins version of it. My kids really liked that book and they had some really great insights afterwards, especially now. We're living it. So in The Law, Bastiat argues that the fundamental purpose of law should be to protect the individual's rights and liberty of citizens. He asserts that the only justifiable use of government power is to safeguard these rights, which include life, liberty, and property. Bastiat criticizes the idea that government should be used to redistribute wealth or to provide individuals with economic benefits at the expense of others. Bastiat also discusses the concept of economic freedom and free market capitalism. He advocates for limited government intervention in the economy, emphasizes the importance of voluntary exchange, and protection of private property rights. He argues that when individuals are free to pursue their economic interests without undue government interference, it leads to prosperity and economic progress for society as a whole. Later on in the list, you will also find books such as Not Yours to Give. That's a little pamphlet by David Crockett. And as well as there's another one, What Has the Government Done to Our Money? That's by Murray Rothbard, also for the same category. So that is how the Robinson curriculum covers government, economics, all that fun stuff. All right, and wrapping up this list, number 85 is Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. This, I have it in the cloth back, the Penguin cloth back series. I love these books. I collect them. As you can see right here, these are all the Penguin cloth bound books. All right, so let's learn a little bit more about this book. It was published in 1883. Again, Robert Louis Stevenson, and this is in the genre of adventure and young adult fiction. Now, when it comes to the Robinson curriculum, it's under the category of literature. Again, keep that in mind when you're doing your transcripts. This novel is very popular, one of the classics, and it is best known for swashbuckling tales of pirates, buried treasure, and high seas adventure. So the overarching themes in this book are, of course, adventure, but also morality and loyalty, which you might not think of, but the characters must grapple with the choices they make and the trust that they place in others. Jim Hawkins, in particular, undergoes a coming-of-age journey as he matures and learns valuable life lessons. So I think this is a really great book, especially for young adult men, right? Pirates and Treasures, I think they'll find it really interesting too, especially maybe after the economic books and the history books. Just a really great, fun novel. The novel popularized many of the pirate tropes we associate with pirate stories today, including the idea of buried treasure, pirates with peg legs, and parrots, and the famous phrase, X marks the spot. And of course, it's had a profound impact on popular culture and the adventure genre. It has been adapted into numerous movies, television series, stage productions. The character of Long John Silver, with its complex morality and charm, has become one of literature's most iconic villains. It continues to captivate readers of all ages, making it a beloved classic in the world of literature. Have you read this book? Let me know in the comments down below. What did you think of it? All right, so those are books 80 to 85. If you like this series, please do me a favor and give it a thumbs up and comment down below if you've read any of these. Curious if you've read The Law, especially. Let me know if you've read it. I'll try to find a free link as well. Usually that one, there's some free link around. If you'd like more information on the Robinson curriculum, I have a full 13-part video series where I cover A through Z about the curriculum. I will link that down below. I also have courses on how to prepare kids for the Robinson curriculum. Those early years from the very beginning of counting in ABCs to where RC officially picks up. I also have another course, Sustainable Homeschooling, where I not just talk about the Robinson curriculum, but the mindset behind it, because it is different and there's a little bit of deprogramming you'd have to do with typically how we think of doing school. So I will leave that information down below. And one more course I think you might be interested in is Bridging the Gaps. And that is a course filled with assessments to maybe you're switching over to homeschooling, you've just made that decision and you don't know where to start or where they're at with their skills and how to improve them. That one guides you through assessments, see where they're at, and give you a game plan on how to maybe catch them up, bring them up to speed. So I'll leave all those resources down for you below. You can also catch up with me live every 2 p.m. on Thursdays in my private membership site. Now, I think you would really like this video, but YouTube's algorithm thinks you would like this video instead. So whichever one you choose, I will see you there. Bye for now.